racism. I ain't hooked up in all that racism. My motto in life is just be happy with. They don't call no more. Brothers went to court and got educated on the judge. All of a sudden, it was like, when you state your case, yes, Your Honor, on the evening in question per se, Your Honor.
Eddie Murphy recently shared a revelation that sheds light on Hollywood's historical treatment of black actors. According to Murphy, the industry had intentionally kept black actors apart, emphasizing division rather than unity. He pointed out the insidious methods employed to achieve this separation, hinting at undisclosed actions that have perpetuated this divide. Murphy's remarks underscore the troubling reality where black actors, rather than standing together, find themselves pitted against each other. He suggests that these negative dynamics have been seeded into the minds of emerging black actors, further fueling division within their community.
I ain't say shit. I mean, I ain't. Huh? What sucks? Reaganomics sucks? Or tell us something that we don't know.
Envision Eddie Murphy taking on a role in a project helmed by Jordan Peele, or witnessing Jamie Foxx and Denzel Washington establishing their own production company. Interestingly, there's a notable absence of a collaboration between Eddie Murphy and Spike Lee throughout their careers. These two individuals, each holding esteemed positions in Hollywood, exemplify a common trend among influential black creatives today. They seemingly avoid collaborating due to the fear that working together might lead Hollywood to dismantle the successes they've individually cultivated.
To make it, you gotta bust your black ass. You gotta be relentless. You gotta persevere. You gotta be focused.
Numerous theories reveal that Eddie Murphy has been part of 50 movies in under 5 years, and only a fraction of those involve a black director. This apprehension, which underscores the industry dynamics, might also explain the absence of a collaboration between Spike Lee and Tyler Perry on a project. Even more, the same sentiment could be behind the fact that Will Smith and Denzel Washington have not joined forces for a series of films, mirroring the dynamic scene with Al Pacino and Robert De Niro.
Yeah, it was wise.
Especially that we are meeting kind of for the first time. That's important. So yeah, that does help.
The underlying reason for Spike Lee and Eddie Murphy's lack of collaboration seems to run deep. In the current moment, a global awareness has emerged regarding the vulnerability of black lives, attributed to systemic issues that have generated troubling outcomes. With the amplification of the Black Lives Matter movement, an increasing number of individuals are recognizing the need for transformative change, starting with the empowerment of economic influence.
The president of the Canadian Black Chamber of Commerce says more businesses are seeking her help.
This shift in awareness has prompted a widespread support to back black-owned businesses, thereby fostering the circulation of wealth within the black community. The significance of supporting such enterprises, though newly emphasized, is not an entirely novel concept. In Power Dynamics, a book authored by Dr. Cloud Anderson, the value of analyzing spending patterns among black Americans is discussed. Ultimately, the narrative underscores the critical significance of maintaining black funds within black control.
Black folk fail to understand that schools are not change agents. They're only doing what the environment wants it to do. Schools in this country, starting in the 1860s, were designed to create a manual labor force for whites.
This leads us to Spike Lee's emergence in the early 1980s, as he embarked on crafting his own identity in the industry. During this time, he openly criticized not only Eddie Murphy, but also other black individuals within Hollywood for failing to establish pathways for others akin to themselves. In a 1989 interview with Rolling Stone magazine, Murphy offered his response to these allegations. Spike Lee had expressed his belief that Murphy might have overlooked using his clout to advance the presence of black individuals in influential roles, particularly within Paramount.
Don't you think I realize what's going on here, miss?
He further said, "They were to me on Saturday Night Live a couple of times after I'd left the show. They said some things. I made a stink about it. It became part of the folklore. What really irritated me about it at the time was that it was a career shot. I felt about it for years, but now I don't have none of that." Eddie Murphy and Spike Lee seem to adopt distinct approaches in addressing racism within Hollywood. Interestingly, during the production of Do the Right Thing, there were instances of Murphy visiting Lee on set. However, in a 1989 appearance on the Arsenio Hall Show, Murphy playfully extended their friendly rivalry by humorously referring to Lee as a cricket. adding another layer to their dynamic.
I love Spike Lee. I seen Spike come on the show last week, and women said, "Wah!" And Spike looks like a cricket.
A year later, the two men engaged in a direct conversation regarding their respective stances. Their viewpoints seemed to align with the different approaches of Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. In a one-on-one interview featured in Spin magazine, Lee and Murphy delved into their ongoing feud. Lee expressed the notion that Eddie Murphy had the potential to exert greater influence toward change.
Brilliant filmmaker. His movies are brilliant. He's hysterical. He's wonderful on camera. But Spike is not fine.
During the middle of the interview, Murphy openly shared his candid perspective on why he believed there was a lack of collaboration among black individuals in Hollywood.
Because I think black people aren't the most unified people on the face of the earth. We gotta get everybody's schedule together.
Everybody says it's cool, but that doesn't ever come.
In a contemplative manner, Murphy pointed out the existence of various groups within the community. He remarked on the apparent division prevalent among people of the same race, highlighting that historically this division was imposed rather than inherent. Referencing the dark era of slavery, he alluded to instances where united groups of slaves were purposely disbanded. Fast forwarding to the present, Murphy noted that when a black individual achieves success, there's often a tendency to isolate oneself and claim ownership of accomplishments. He attributed this hesitancy to unite to an underlying fear of jeopardizing personal equilibrium in the pursuit of collective collaboration.
We got all this hooked up for black people. Chinese people all around because they got little dicks and little asses.
Murphy emphasized that this inherent division isn't a conscious choice but rather ingrained. He underscored that this fearlessness was a product of the apprehension white individuals have towards black individuals. Recounting a personal encounter, he shared an incident involving Mike Tyson. During a gathering at Eddie Murphy Productions, Murphy found himself in the company of Mike Tyson and Don King.
You know, a little bit more Mike Tyson, more Mike Tysonism, like,
hello, ladies and gentlemen, Sammy and I would like...
Reflecting on his workplace, where his managers were the only white employees, the trio delved into a discussion about white people and government matters. Strikingly, the conversation took a whispered tone, a phenomenon Murphy attributed to the deep-seated apprehension that the influence of the white man had instilled, leading even to the discreet discussions within one's own abode.
They do, and it's up the way they walk. They be walking all light because they ain't got no shit pulling them down.
The long-awaited classic interview emerged as an opportunity for both individuals to address the misunderstandings between them. However, more than a decade passed before any indications of their potential collaboration came to light. It was during this time that Spike Lee secured a role in a James Brown biopic and contemplated enlisting Eddie Murphy for the project. Regrettably, Lee's involvement was short-lived as he was eventually replaced by director Tate Taylor. Skipping ahead to 2014, Chadwick Boseman took on the lead role in the movie instead of Eddie Murphy. But despite the continued absence of a film collaboration between Murphy and Lee, discussions have persistently surfaced. In 2011, it was reported that Murphy was lined up to portray former DC Mayor Marion Barry in a biopic directed by Spike Lee for HBO. However, Spike Lee changed his intentions and did not go with Murphy. Notably, Murphy's earlier observations about the unconventional dynamics for black individuals in Hollywood prompted efforts towards the establishment of a genuine black Hollywood scene.
Now, brothers is too big, so up his balance, he be doing all this shit.
Back in 1988, an article by Paul Mooney in the Los Angeles Times unveiled Murphy's, Robert Townsend's, Keenan Ivory Wayans, and Arsenio Hall's endeavor to unite under the banner of the Black Pack. The specifics behind the dissolution of this initiative remain unclear, but Murphy's conversation with Spike and Spin magazine offers a glimpse into why the collaboration may not have endured. With the backdrop of societal protests unfolding on the streets, the current juncture invites contemplation on transitioning the protests to the realm of filmmaking. It raises questions about addressing racism, whether through a subdued or vociferous cinematic approach.
Even if they did have some skills, they were still enslaved.
However, Eddie's fans have supported him with every possible power. One of them wrote, "When people question Eddie's blackness, I wonder if they've actually listened to his stand-up. Problem with a lot of people is that you're not doing it how they expect you to do it. They believe you're not doing it." Another one added, "There have been many black actors and comedians that mention Eddie Murphy, giving them a foot in the door. He got Damon Wayans a big part in Beverly Hills Cop. Chris Rock mentioned that he got his first real role in Beverly Hills Cop 2 after Eddie saw him in a comedy club, and also said that Eddie was the reason why the manager put him on a stage in that club. Dave Chappelle said that he got his first big role in The Nutty Professor, and Keenan Ivory Wayans said that Eddie opened doors for him in Hollywood. He may be low-key about it, but Eddie looked out for his own. Furthermore, over the years, many black comedians have chosen to wear dresses in pursuit of laughter. The juxtaposition of a towering presence and heels creates an inherently ludicrous and consequently humorous visual, yet the implications run deeper. As Dave Chappelle said,
"When I see that they put every black man in the movies in a dress at some point in their career, I'll be connecting them down like, wow."
During an appearance on Oprah's show, comedian Dave Chappelle raised a theory. He pondered the prevalence of accomplished black male entertainers wearing women's clothes for comedic effect in some phases of their career. Notably, Martin Lawrence achieved recognition for his lead role in the Big Mama's House series. Similarly, Eddie Murphy included a female character among the array of roles he undertook in his Nutty Professor film series.
I'm doing a movie with Martin. Yeah. The movie's going good. So I walk in the trailer. I'm like, man, this must be the wrong trailer because there's a dress in here.
Jamie Foxx left his mark with the unforgettable Ugly Wanda persona on In Living Color, whereas Marlon and Shawn Wayans embraced gender reversal for their roles in White Chicks. Additionally, the ill-fated Juwanna Mann movie from a few years back remains a chapter we may wish to put behind us.
I know this looks freaky out, but it's not what you think.
Amongst these instances, one figure stands out as the most prominent one of our time, Tyler Perry. Known not only for his entertainment ventures, but also for his right-wing influence, Perry's Medea franchise has achieved considerable success and recognition.
What the hell is Black Friday? Every Friday is Friday, I'm black, that's a Black Friday. What are you talking about?
While Tyler Perry has carved a prosperous path within the gospel play realm, he's effectively extended his triumph to the larger film industry, bringing his contemporary portrayal to a larger cinematic canvas.
Was it what character, or is it a one-man show?
No, it's a stage play. It's like Broadway, just with black people.
Remarkably, his last book, Don't Make a Black Woman Take Off Her Earrings, even secured a spot on the prestigious New York Times bestsellers list. This prompts an inquiry. What underlies this phenomenon? Some theories say that such depictions of black men might function as a way to counterbalance the dominant and forceful image commonly associated with hip-hop culture.
Because this industry is a monster.
Over the span of several years, it's been reported that Hollywood played a significant role in perpetuating various stereotypes, unfortunately contributing to the shaping of public perception about black individuals for a significant part of the audience. During this time, a debate emerged, suggesting that due to the limited opportunities within the entertainment industry, black artists often felt compelled to take on stereotypical roles as a way to sustain their livelihoods.
A weak person cannot get to sit here and talk to you.
However, although the entertainment industry hasn't fully reached a state of racial equality, present-day performers do have a certain level of control over their choices, with Kevin Hart's name particularly prominent in this regard.
Conventionate is lifting her arms into her signature muscle man pose.
While there are many potential explanations, it's conceivable that some performers just prioritize laughter and maybe financial gain above all else.
When things happen that can possibly affect your brand, your brand can be diminished, and you don't want that to happen. So, protecting my brand is definitely a priority.
Many black people have come out to express that they are opposed to witnessing further instances of this, with the belief that this phenomenon has run its course. On the other side of things, it can be considered offensive to the LGBTQ+ community.
I was like, no, I'm gonna look stupid. At the end of the day, you gotta know that you're a brand.
Over an extended period, Hollywood took the forefront in propagating a range of stereotypes that regrettably ended up shaping the perception of black individuals for a significant portion of the population. Throughout this era, a contention arose that due to limited opportunities in the entertainment industry, black artists often found themselves compelled to accept stereotypical roles as a means of securing their livelihood. While opinions vary on this argument, it's important to acknowledge that this era has since come to an end. As Murphy said, "I'd do the pilot, show up here and there. None of the movie scripts were right. It was trying to force the premise. premise. If you have to force something, you shouldn't be doing it. Another notable black person that has spoken on this is Cornell West. Cornell West stands out as a distinctive type of civil rights champion. While many other notable leaders frequently step into the spotlight through high-profile press events, West's impact has been subtly significant during crucial racial moments across the United States, particularly within the entertainment sector. Defying the conventional approach, this eloquent intellectual doesn't rely on a formal organizing or entourage, yet this charismatic appeal has drawn the focus of an emerging cohort of African American activists.
So that what was once in place, much more stronger moral conviction, we saw ruthless ambition.
At present, Cornell West is vocal about the treatment of impoverished and marginalized Americans. Renowned for his incisiveness and fearless stance on matters of race, he particularly doesn't shy away from critiquing President Obama. He said, "When I called the president a black puppet of Wall Street, I was really talking about the degree to which Wall Street had a disproportionate amount of influence on his policies, as opposed to poor people and working people." In the view of Cornell West, his dedicated endeavors embody a novel and courageous style of activism rooted in vision. The pivotal inquiry persists. Will his justified indignation manifest as animosity and retribution, or will it be channeled towards compassion and equity? So far, West has been committed to guiding the public along the route of love and justice. He said, "Oh, very much so. I think that's a marvelous new militancy that has to do with courage, vision. The fundamental challenge always is, will their rage be channeled through hatred and revenge, or will it be channeled through love and justice? You got to push them toward love and justice." From Cornell West's viewpoint, the chief obstacle to fostering constructive race relations both within the entertainment industry and across the nation is what he labels nihilism, the prevailing sense of hopelessness and diminished worth experienced by numerous members of the black community.
It is not connected to the energies of black poor people. It's completely severed.
In his insightful publication titled Race Matters, authored in the initial months of 1993, West delves into his philosophical perspective. He encourages both individuals of black and white communities to fully comprehend the deep interconnection between racism and race throughout American history. Cornell West enjoys strong backing from his admirers, who wholeheartedly support his stance. He emphasizes that recognizing the significance of race matters is essential for attaining a comprehensive grasp of everything inherently labeled as American.
You get your professionals who surface at the top. They tend to be nerdy, smart, self-promoting, not taking any risks.
This highlights how Hollywood has historically propagated negativity among black actors, creating divisions that have hindered their ability to collaborate and work together.